Hi friends, this is Crystal from Homemaking on the Homestead, and today we're going to have another episode of Cooking for Two, a week of dinner meals. I'm going to be sharing with you a week's worth of meals that I have made for my husband and I, and all the recipes and the links to the recipes can be found below in the description box. So let's get cooking. On Sunday, I started out by making some bolognese sauce, sausage bolognese sauce, and I have already made a video on this. It was so delicious. It was different than spaghetti sauce, even though they can be very similar. I was serving some baguettes with this, baguette slices, and so I was making a little bit of a dipping sauce for that, which consisted of olive oil and some balsamic vinegar and a little bit of salt. You mix that all together and then warm up your baguettes or toast them. I warm mine up in the microwave, and then you can dip them in the sauce. It's really tasty. And of course, the perfect accompaniment to a good Italian meal is a nice tossed green salad. We really enjoyed this meal, and it will definitely be on our rotation, my menu rotation again. On Monday, we had plenty of that left over, so we just had a repeat of the same meal. On Tuesday, I decided to bake up some chicken legs. I just put them on my cooking tray and season them. You can season them with whatever your favorite seasonings are. I use some seasoned salt and a little of the garlic herb salt. It's not salt, garlic herb spice that I get from Costco, and it just makes for a quick, simple meal. I was kind of looking for an all-in-one sheet pan type thing, so I just threw some tater tots on that. I ended up cooking it at about 325 for, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes or so until the chicken was done and the tater tots were all done. And I served that with some leftover salad for a super simple meal. On Wednesday, I pulled out a bunch of leftovers out of my refrigerator. That was a little bit of leftover soup. Doesn't look like much when it's cold. I had a little bit of bolognese sauce still left, a couple chicken legs, and some salad still left. So I decided to add along with that some sausage links. I bought these from Costco, and my plan had been to bake them and then flash freeze them to be able to pull them out for breakfasts, and to serve a few as a little bit of extra for that night. They're really easy to bake. You just need to bake them for 30 minutes at 400 and make sure the internal temperature is at least 165. Well, there's the finished meal. I just kind of separated the soup and heated it back up. I cooked a few more noodles for the bolognese sauce, added the sausages. We each had a chicken leg and some salad. So another super easy meal. On Thursday, we decided it was time for some tacos, so I guess it was Taco Thursday for us. I cut up some lettuce because I also wanted to make a salad, set some aside for the tacos, and then made the salad and kind of did a little multitasking while I cooked up my taco meat, my hamburger, and made the veggies at the same, cut up the veggies at the same time. I cooked up my hamburger. I buy my taco seasoning in bulk, so after I had drained the grease, I threw in a little salt and a couple tablespoons of the bulk taco mix, and a little water, and let that simmer. Then I grated some cheese up for the tacos, and voila, another nice, delicious, simple meal for us that night. On Friday, I made a pork sirloin roast. It was just a little 1-pound roast. I pulled out my favorite seasonings again. I put a little oil on it and kind of did a dry rub with my seasonings. I used my favorites, which are the garlic and herb that Costco sells, salt, and some seasoning salt. And I just sprinkled that on all the sides and rubbed it in, and then I let it sit for a little bit. Then I heated up my frying pan and added some olive oil to it, and then my plan was to sear my roast on every side. So I kind of just would let it sit and then turn it and sear it. So my frying pan was fairly hot for this. Meanwhile, I had been preheating my oven to about 350. You could do 350, 375. I did 350. Once it had been seared, I turned the heat off, and then I kind of surrounded it all with some frozen vegetables. And you could use any kind of vegetables of your choice that you wanted, or you could skip the vegetables altogether. But I chose these broccoli, cauliflower, carrot combination, and then I stuck it into the oven. While that was baking, I wanted to make some macaroni and cheese, which is my husband's favorite. This is a simple recipe that I do when I just want to make it in a hurry or stovetop it. I do add a little bit of Velveeta. I'm not a fan of cheese sauces that use flour to thicken them. I don't really like the taste, and I don't like the way that they reheat. So I add about 4 to 6 ounces of Velveeta to give my sauce that nice creamy texture to it. And the cheddar cheese melts a lot better. So basically all I do is take about 2 cups of milk. I am cooking there about 8 ounces of elbow macaroni. When that was done, well, not quite done, I had to stop and check my pot roast and stir my veggies around and check the temperature. You need it to come to 165, so I needed to see if it was, and it wasn't, so it went back into the oven. Then I got back and busy with my sauce. I warm up the milk, not too hot, just a medium-low temperature on my burner, and then I mix in the Velveeta. And I kind of stir that around and let that melt really nicely. Once that's all melted, at that point, I add in the cheddar cheese. Now, the sauce can be just a little bit thin, but I like it that way better because the pasta has a tendency to absorb a lot of the moisture as it sits or when you go to reheat it. So I like it to be just a little bit on the thin side. And then I add a little salt and pepper. I stir that up. And of course, my noodles, my macaroni noodles, I've drained those already. So I pull those forward and pour the sauce in, and I pretty much pour the whole amount of sauce in there. And like I said, it can look like it's a little bit too much, but if it sits for just a little bit, it kind of absorbs all that and it ends up being perfect, at least perfect the way that we like it. At that point, my pork roast was done. I pulled that out of the oven. It cooks for about 25 minutes per pound. And since I had 1 pound, it cooked for about almost 25, 27 minutes. And there is our plated up dinner. This pork roast was absolutely moist and delicious. On Saturday, it was time to pull out the leftovers. So I had leftover macaroni and cheese, a little bit of taco meat, and we really enjoyed that roast. And right there was all that was left of the roast and the veggies. So I ended up cooking. I still had some more of those sausage links that I wanted to get in the freezer, so I went ahead and cooked up another pan full like I had done previously and made up a salad to go with the meal, and then cooked those up, and we just kind of divided up all the leftovers and I gave my husband the last of the pork roast and some sausages, macaroni and cheese, and a salad. Again, it made for another super easy meal, and the rest of the sausages I have flash frozen and used for breakfast. And that is what we had for dinner this last week. Thanks for watching. I hope something in this video gave you some inspiration for your own menu planning. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you like my content and you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, would you please consider subscribing? That would mean a lot to me. All right, guys, I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.